Hello everyone and welcome to your first online saxophone lesson. My name is Mr. Co Francesco. I go by Mr. Co and I am so excited to be your band teacher this year, help you to become the best instrumentalist you possibly can. So for today's lesson, we're going to need a couple of materials. We're going to need a couple of handouts, one being this sheet right here that says Saxophone First Lesson that you got already. You'll also need this handout, which shows the correct way to put the mouthpiece together. And obviously you will need your saxophone with you. Okay, so if you do not have one of those things, please go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and grab them all. Okay, when you are ready, we are going to start right here on this sheet. So go ahead and have this out with you, maybe on your music stand, and follow along with me. I'm going to read number 1, getting ready. The first bullet says, open your case so that the latches and label, if present, are facing you. So go ahead and grab your case. Let's take a look at what we have here. It says the latches need to be facing you and the label. So remember that the latches are these right here that you can lift up or down in order to open or close the case. And those need to be facing you. So I'm going to turn them to face me. And then you need to go ahead and take a look and see if you can find the label. My label is right here in the corner. It says Yamaha. Yours might say Yamaha. It might say something a little bit different. Whatever it says there, make sure that it is facing up. If it is facing down and you open the latches, then your saxophone is going to fall out or open upside down, which could lead to damages, and we don't want that. So once the latches are facing you and the label is facing up, go ahead and put that case on the ground, because it is really easy to have it on your lap, opening, and then the whole case tumbles to the ground. So make sure that you open it on the ground, open up those latches, lift to the top of the case, and here is what you're gonna need. You are going to need, I'm looking at bullet point number 2, take out the mouthpiece, which yours might be in a little case like this. If not, it looks like this. Take out the mouthpiece and the ligature, which is the metal piece that's probably on your mouthpiece. You'll also need the neck, which is this piece right here. And you'll need a reed. So go ahead and take a quick second to take those 3 things out and then close up your case. We do not need the actual body of the saxophone today. Leave your case off to the side. Okay. While you're doing that, I'll read you bullet point number 3 of number 1, getting ready. Remove the reed from the reed holder and place it on your tongue. So quick reminder that we have our reed case right here. Remember that we want to pull from this side, which is called the base of the reed. And we're going to pull out. Reminder to not touch this section, the tip that is the fragile section that is really easy to break or to crack or something like that. So make sure you're only holding it from here and then you pop it in your mouth. You can continue to leave this in your mouth to get it nice and moist. I'm going to leave it out of my mouth so that I can continue to talk to you. You can just have yours like this. Okay, and I'm going to move on to number 2, assembly of the mouthpiece. So it does say here, look on page 2 for detailed information about putting your reed on correctly. That is this page, so make sure that you have this page out so you can check your work when you're putting your mouthpiece together. Follow all the steps on there. I'm going to do this kind of fast right now. If I'm going too fast for you, I would recommend that you pause this video and move over to the video on my YouTube channel called Clarinet and Saxophone Mouthpiece Assembly. That one, I go through the steps way slower. So if that's more your speed, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to quickly go ahead and put this mouthpiece together. So we have our reed. It's nice and wet. We have our ligature here. We're going to raise it just a little bit so that the reed can fit in between the mouthpiece and the ligature, which is the metal piece. Remember, careful not to touch that tip, okay? Because that is fragile. We do not want to touch it. Quick reminder that we want the reed to be just below the end of the mouthpiece so that you can see a little sliver of black there. A good way to check and see that you've done it correctly is to flip it over and notice that there's no reed showing. If the reed was up here and you could see a little bit of it, it is up too high. You got to move it down, okay? And once you are set with that in the right spot, remember to go ahead and start tightening the ligature screws. Remember to turn away from you. Not super tight, but make sure that it is secure in place. I do want to bring up to you one quick thing that you should notice. If you're looking at your saxophone first lesson sheet, you might notice this picture has the screws of the mouthpiece facing up when it's in your mouth. Our ligatures, this is an old picture, our ligatures will almost 100% have the screws facing down. So when it's in my mouth, I don't see the screws up here. They should be on the back side, okay? So just make sure that that's in the right spot. Lastly, we need to twist to connect the neck piece to the mouthpiece before making sound. And I'm sorry I should have said this before, but I'll say it now. If you have this cork grease, which hopefully is something that you've already purchased, this is gonna come in handy right now in order for us to keep the neck nice and intact and not broken at all. This will help us get our mouthpiece on the neck, okay? So just remember to take a little dab of this. You can put it on your finger, and you're just gonna rub the tip of the cork up here to help that mouthpiece get on there. When we attach this mouthpiece to the neck, quick reminder, we do not want to grab down here on the bottom section, because we could really, when we're squeezing and holding, we could damage this up here. So we don't want to do that. We want to grab up way by the cork. Now that it's greased up, we'll just do a couple of quick turns so it is on there, and make sure that everything looks straight. Like right now, if I were to put my mouth on this, my head's a little bit turned, so I want to make sure everything is streamlined. I better hold by the cork to spin this until we're in the right spot, okay? If you can do it like this and you're facing straight ahead, you have it on correctly. Take a quick second if you need to adjust anything to do so. Okay, while you do that, I'm gonna move on to bullet point number 3, which says posture. So posture is how we hold our bodies in order to make the most beautiful sound possible. You need to make sure that you are sitting up straight. You're on the edge of your chair. You're not sitting all the way back in your chair, but you should have a little bit of distance between the back of your chair and where your back is. And make sure your feet are flat on the floor. This allows us to take the biggest breath we possibly can and make the most beautiful sound we possibly can. Then we will set your music stand at a comfortable distance in front of you. So you can still see it. Mine's off to the side here. You can still see it, but it is not in your way if you needed to move your arms or your instrument when we get to that part, okay? So now that we're done with posture, let's talk embouchure, which is number 4. Embouchure is how our mouths make the sound. It is the shape that our mouth needs to be in order to make a sound on our instrument. Okay, so we should have our neck and mouthpiece combo ready to go. We're holding up by the cork, right? We're not holding down here. It says, number 1, stretch out your lower lip against your teeth like you were putting on chapstick. So you want to kind of stretch the bottom lip over those bottom teeth like this, like you're going to put on some chapstick. Okay, then we're going to place your top teeth on the top of the mouthpiece. So we put our mouthpiece here on those lips, teeth on top, okay? And they need to be nice and secure on there. That is part of the shape your mouth needs to be in, the embouchure, in order to play the saxophone properly, okay? So next says, breathe through your mouth, then seal your lips around the mouthpiece and blow. So step 1, teeth. Step 2, here. Step 3, we're gonna breathe in and close. And do you notice how the corners of my mouth are kind of tucked in like this? That is the proper shape that your mouth needs to be in. And then we're gonna blow. Let's try it together, ready? Here, teeth. Take a big breath and blow in. I'm gonna count off when I say ready, go. We're gonna take a breath in and then blow. Ready? Set, go. How'd it go? Did you make a noise? If you did, fantastic, keep it up. If you didn't, let's try it again. It's okay. Remember, this is brand new. It takes a lot of practice. Let's try again. Ready? Set up. And ready, set, go. Beautiful. And that is something that we're going to continue to practice. So the more you just put this together and make that sound, the better you're going to get and the faster you're going to get better, okay? I'm going to do one quick thing, and let's see if you can figure out what I'm doing incorrectly. What is not correct about this? Watch. Could you see? What was I doing not correctly? Yeah, if you said that I was puffing my cheeks out, you are exactly right. You could probably hear it in my sound too. It was kind of wavery and it wasn't very stable. So we really need to avoid puffing out our cheeks. And one quick way that you can always notice that is if you are standing by a mirror. So if you have a mirror in your house, it's a great idea to take your mouthpiece and your neck and blow while watching yourself. And if you see your cheeks start to puff out, that's a quick way to fix that. And you just want to make sure your corners of your lips are nice and tight, and that should stop you trying to puff out your cheeks, okay? I'm going on to number 5 now. That says things to try. Number 1 is play 10 long, smooth sounds without puffing your cheeks. We won't continue to do that. You do that on your own time. If you'd like to pause the video and do that right now, feel free. Number 2 on that box is try different things. Try different ta and TT patterns that you learned in music class. We'll come back to that in just a second. And prepare for the longest note competition by timing how long you can hold out a note. Let's practice that together right now. So you're going to take a big breath in with excellent posture, making sure that the shape of your mouth is exactly how we just practiced. Okay, let's see if you can beat me. Ready? Set. Go. That's about as far as I can make it. How'd you do? If you stack up to me in class, then there might be some prizes in it for you. So keep practicing and seeing how long you can hold that note on your mouthpiece, okay? So let's move on to number 6, which is our final section of today's practice, ta and TT patterns. Try playing these patterns. First, say the pattern out loud, then play the pattern on your mouthpiece. So let's say them together. We're gonna start just saying. Say it with me, I'll count off. 1, 2, say it, go. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. All right, let's go ahead and get our mouthpiece ready. Get that embouchure ready, and now let's play that exact thing. 1, 2, play it, go. Nice job. Let's move to the next one. This has some rests in it, so let's make sure that we are thinking those rests in our head. We're not making any sound. I'll kind of do this and remind us to rest and not make any sound there, okay? Well, say it first. 1, 2, here I go. Ta, rest, ta, rest. Okay, let's try and play that. 1, 2, ready, play. Nice. And our final one also has a rest, so let's not get tricked where that rest is. Ready? Say it first. 1, 2, say it, go. Ta, ta, rest, ta, and play. Find that embouchure. 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome job. Now, what I do need you to do the next time you come in for your lesson is I'd like for you to have your own ta and TT pattern ready for us to play. So you're going to make something up, make it totally original. You can add tas, you can add TTs, you can add rests, whatever you want. And you are going to make it up, and we, as the rest of the class, are going to play your creation. So that should be really fun. Don't forget to do that. All right, finally, before we end, I'd like to make sure we know how to go over and fill out your practice session section, which is on the bottom little part of your sheet right here. Okay, read along with me. Each day you practice this week, check off a box below. Each day you practice, you should do all of number 5, things to try, and all of number 6, ta and TT patterns. Try to play 5 to 7 times this week to grow your sound, okay? So one of the things on here also does say assembly of mouthpiece. That is something that we'd like you to practice too. Obviously, if you're gonna practice the things to try and ta and TT patterns, you all have to put your mouthpiece together, so you can automatically check that box. So we wanna see 5 to 7 times this week, and here's what you can do. If you are busy one night and you don't have enough time to practice that night, that is okay. It is fine and acceptable if you practice 2 times. So let's say on the weekend, maybe you have time to practice in the morning and in the afternoon or the evening. That will count as 2 different practice times. So as long as you hit 5 to 7 times in the week, you're good. And then don't forget to check off When you do all of the things to try and all of the ta and tt patterns, give that a check, and make sure to have your family member sign off here to let me know that they know you did it, okay? Great job today. I'm super proud of you for getting started with me. Feel free to come back to this video as many times as you want, and happy practicing. We'll see you at your next lesson.